Hello guys, and before we get into this Draw My Life, all I can ask for is that you enjoy this video, and can we smash 21 likes since it is my 21st birthday today. So let's jump straight into this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So my life first starts off when I was born on the 30th of January 1996. I was born in a place called Huntingdon, which is actually located in a place in the UK called Cambridge, which is based kind of just below Manchester, kind of that area, if you are from the UK. And I moved to a place called Cheshire when I was 4 months old with my mum, my dad, and it was in a nice place called Sandbach. So I don't know if any of you know Cheshire, but it was called Sandbach, and obviously, as you can see, it was me, 9 months old, my mum and my dad, that moved there. And also it's kind of around. It was about an hour drive away from Cambridge as well, so wasn't too far. And when I was I'd lived normally for a couple of years, and then when I was about 4, I developed some swelling around my left eye, and obviously my mum and my dad were worried, so they took me to the doctors. It was just swelling. It's like I'd bumped my head or something like that, and they were worried what it was. So they took me to the doctors, and after they'd taken me to the doctors, it became quite a big problem, because then after we went to the doctors, the doctor then referred us to a hospital, and after the doctor referred us to a hospital, I think it was like a specialty hospital, I'm not too sure. It was the hospital that we went to. It was a hospital in Crewe. I don't know if you know it, if you're from around in the UK, but it was a hospital, and it was a special ophthalmology department. So that hospital referred us to an ophthalmology department in a different hospital, and this different hospital was a hospital that specialised in children with serious illnesses. It was a children's hospital, and it was called Alderhay. It's based in Liverpool. So we had to travel from Liverpool. We had to travel from where we live in Cheshire to Liverpool most days. So it was called Alderhay. It's a hospital called Alderhay, which specialises in looking after children. And when I was in Alderhay, after they'd done some tests and we'd been transferred over there, basically the doctors told my parents that I had cancer. I had a tumour. I had a rare form of cancer which was called rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a kind of cancer basically that's like a tumorous cancer. It's where a tumour grows above your eye, and it caused a lot of problems for me. It did cause a lot of problems. So a couple of days after I'd been diagnosed, obviously what they had to do is they had to slit open my eyelid, and they tried to remove as much of the tumour as they could. Luckily for me, they caught it quite early, so they could remove quite a large amount of the tumour. And it basically, from us going in there, I believe it basically saved my life, just because of the fact that it meant that the tumour couldn't grow and spread to other parts of my body, so, i.e. my brain, and it wouldn't kill me. I know this is very interesting, and it generally upset me quite a lot. Obviously I didn't really understand because I was quite young still, but it did upset me quite a lot because obviously I wasn't sure what was going on. I had to go through operations and things like that. But that night when I got home from the hospital, basically I was in bed, and I had a friend around at the house, and my stitches burst. So obviously I went downstairs and I had blood all over my face, and they had to take me back to a hospital in Crewe to get my stitches redone. And obviously that was something that kind of, I think, disturbed my mum quite a lot, because obviously she saw her son come down the stairs with blood all over his face, and she was like, wow, and it freaked her out a little bit. But after that, I had gone back to the hospital a couple of more times, and it was time for me to start my chemotherapy. And that involved injections first. So obviously I had a series of injections to see how I'd react to the chemo, I believe, and then I started the proper chemo. And the way I started the proper chemotherapy was by getting a line put into my chest. So it was just off one side of my chest, and it was basically so they could feed me the antibiotics to kill the cancer, which was technically chemotherapy. But it has left me with a scar. Obviously I would show you, but I can't. But it left me with a scar from where they put the line in. And obviously during this time, during my chemotherapy, I lost a hell of a lot of weight. I went from being like a normal size to being quite skinny. I shed loads of weight. And not only that, obviously the other side effect with chemotherapy is the fact that you do lose your hair. So obviously when I started losing my hair, my mum was telling me that I was walking down the street one day and I just started pulling clumps of hair out my head. And she had to take me to the barber's to get my head shaved, because obviously it was all patchy where I'd been pulling the hair out. And again, it upset me quite a lot because I was young and I wasn't really sure why my hair was falling out and what was going on. Obviously no normal kid, I was seeing kids that weren't pulling their hair out and things like that. But over the next few months I'd gone back to the hospital for more chemotherapy, and this is something that was probably I don't really remember it, but my mum probably remembers it really well. But I obviously don't really remember much because I was young, so I don't really recall much of it. But I also went for 5 weeks of radiotherapy, and that involved me going to into a machine, and basically they would focus radio waves onto my eye where the tumor was. And it burnt my skin quite a lot when I was, and it obviously dried my skin out. That's why I've got quite bad dry skin now. But it was something that, this is probably an event that'll stick with me for the rest of my life, because obviously I had to go back for checkups and things like that. And this was around the time that I started school, so I was about 7-8 years old. I started middle school, and school was a very hard time for myself, because I obviously, when I started school, I'd just been through radio and chemotherapy, so I had no hair, and where the radiotherapy was focused, I also lost an eyebrow. Obviously all the hair fell out of one of my eyebrows as well, and it was hard because obviously kids asked loads of questions, why I didn't have any hair, and what was wrong with me, and my mum was telling me that they sent a letter around the school, and things like that. So a lot of people at the school were aware that I had this problem, and obviously they focused a lot of attention on me, which wasn't kind of the thing that I wanted at that young age. Also, another thing that happened is that due to the chemotherapy, it killed one of the bones in my eye. So my eyes are different shapes. I've got one that's obviously from the age that it gave that I had the chemotherapy and things like that, and it gave me quite big anxiety because obviously people were making fun of me, and I didn't really like it. And it wasn't just at school, it was people talking in the street, people would whisper things about me and things like that, so it made me quite upset when I was younger. And we did that for a couple of months. We went for monthly checkups, and then I went for one monthly checkup, and obviously the treatment had worked and I was cured, and I was over the moon. I think it's the best news I've ever had in my whole entire life. Obviously getting told that you've beat a life-threatening disease is amazing, and obviously it was probably the greatest day of my life. If I can remember it really well, even though I was quite young, I can still remember it really, really well, and it was just something that made me super happy. Then obviously when I was 11 years old, we moved from Cheshire to Newcastle upon Tyne. That's because my mum's family is up from Newcastle, so we made that move so my mum could be near her family, and obviously I could be near my aunties and uncles and things like that. And Newcastle upon Tyne was really good. I met loads of nice people, I met loads of friends. Obviously I still had some of the anxiety from when I was at school, and it's probably going to be with me for the rest of my life, but I don't let it stop me from doing things. I mean, obviously people usually don't notice the eye and the eyebrow straight away, but it's still something that'll be there for the rest of my life. And obviously I met loads of cool people. I met Dom, Harvey, Rob, Robbie, Johnny, Jack and Chris. These are some of my closest friends now, and they have recently we went out for a birthday party and they were all there. So I've met loads of great people, and I appreciate them all, and they are really great friends to me. Not only that, I've done some other amazing things while I've been living up in Newcastle. The first being that I passed my driving test. So obviously when I turned 16 I started having lessons and eventually passed my driving test and got my first car, which was a VW Polo, that was a massive thing for me, because obviously with having so much chemotherapy and things like that, I was told that I might not be able to do things like drive and things like that. So that was a massive milestone for me. Also, and I had house parties when I was up here with loads of people turned up. I actually had 3, and I trashed my house 3 times, which obviously isn't good, and I don't advise anyone to do it. But it was a great thing for me, because obviously it meant that people got to know me, and I got to make loads of friends from it. So that was another possibly not great thing, but it's another thing that I did while I was up here that I wouldn't have possibly done, that I may possibly not have done. And it was amazing, just because it's a great experience to have, obviously having a party and things like that. Another thing that I've done is obviously I met my girlfriend Sophie. We've been together 3 years. I don't know if you've seen her on this channel. I'm not sure. She obviously, you can see her in my Paris vlog, because we went to Paris together for her 21st birthday, and we met each other 3 years ago. And obviously if I hadn't moved up here we wouldn't have met each other. But yeah, she's great. I don't really know what else I can say about her apart from that she's really great. So, and the last but not least obviously is YouTube. I'm so glad that I started YouTube. I am very, very grateful for all you guys that watch these videos and watch the boot reviews, and hopefully this channel can keep growing, because I love doing YouTube. It's something that I have been passionate about for quite a long time, maybe the last 3 or 4 years. I love editing. I love spending time sat at a computer putting videos together and watching people say, oh wow, that's a great editing style, or oh, this video was really good. And I also love the criticism that some people give, like such as, oh, you can do this differently, or I'd like to see this. And it's more about just entertaining. I like making videos for you guys, and for you guys to enjoy them is amazing. So I am solely grateful for the subscribers that I get from you guys. But probably the best thing that I've done in terms of for myself is getting to university. Now I attend Sunderland University, and this was something that I never ever thought I was going to do. Obviously going through school I got poor GCSE grades, and I got average A levels, and I honestly thought I wasn't someone that never really stuck around and stuck in at school. So getting into university was something that was massive for me. I'm very proud of myself, and I know a lot of people are proud of me for getting in to university, and hopefully I get a good degree out of it. But obviously this is done on my 21st birthday. I am now 21, so I've reached the second major milestone in my life, and it is currently the 30th of the 1st, 2017. It's my 21st birthday, so I want everyone to comment down below happy birthday, or just give me some obviously good wishes. Or you don't have to if you don't want to. You can say like screw you if you want, but it's entirely up to you. And there's a lot of things that I want to keep going into the next year, until I'm like maybe 22, till my 22nd birthday. I want to make more videos for you guys. I want to get a consistent upload schedule. I want to make interesting videos. I want to make vlogs. I want to make loads of good content for you guys on YouTube on this channel. And the second thing is that I would like to do more traveling. I would like to go to exotic countries and vlog for you guys and let you guys enjoy it. It's something that I've always wanted to do, and that is a horrendous drawing of a plane. I apologise for anyone that is better at drawing than me. But it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to travel. I want to go to Japan and things like that. So traveling is a massive thing for me. And the last thing is happiness. I want everyone to be happy, not just me, but Sophie, my friends, you guys that are watching. I want everyone to be happy. I want to bring happiness. And that's kind of it. I want you guys to enjoy this. Hopefully you take inspiration from this. If you don't, it's up to you, depending on how you look at it. Obviously, I want to, and finally, all I want to say is I'd love to all you guys for watching and sticking with this channel. I know it's not a consistent upload, but the last thing is just thank you for watching. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this kind of personal video and the insight into my life. And the last thing that I've got to say is peace. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you later.